want to give you a little bit of background on myself. So throughout my life, I was always kind of shamed for my femininity, shamed for expressing myself, my emotions, shamed for really being kind of too soft and needing to really toughen up. So this caused me to adopt more. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am so happy that you're here. For all my returning subscribers, I am so grateful for you. I know some of you have shared my videos, have shared my channel, and that is something that I am truly grateful for, because in the beginning stages of this YouTube channel, since we are still small, since we are still growing, it is quite difficult for people to find us. So every time that you like the video, every time that you comment, every time that you share, every time that you engage with me, it all really helps other women find the channel and grow this community. If you are new, I would love for you to subscribe, to also do the same, to like the video, to comment down below, to follow me on my other social media outlets. I've actually just started using Twitter, still getting used to it, and I think I have like 10 followers. So if you want to be my Twitter friend, I will follow you back. I will link my Twitter profile down below, and you can also find it on my banner. I wanted to introduce myself to my new viewers. My name is Cynthia, as you can tell by the title of the channel, as well as I am married. I'm 25 years old. I have 3 crazy dogs that you might hear barking in this video. Even though I try to put them outside during the videos, they still really like to bark and make an appearance. Today we are going to do some fall homemaking. I wanted to tell you that I'm not an expert in terms of the decoration, baking department, but I am always improving on my skills. And if you're looking for some extravagant decorating and some wonderful recipes, this probably isn't the channel for you. But we are going to make these 2 recipes together that I am making for the first time. This includes pumpkin walnut bread as well as pumpkin spice lattes. Pumpkin spice lattes are a great thing that I thought would be worthwhile knowing how to make, since they are a fan favorite by many women in my generation, and I think as well many men. So being able to make the pumpkin spice latte, I just picture being able to have my friends over and making this drink without us having to go to Starbucks, and really being able to bond and feel cozy and have a hangout in my house, which is better than the noisy Starbucks environment. So if you're interested in that as well, I will let you know how the recipe turns out and if it is any good in comparison to the Starbucks one, because I do myself like the pumpkin spice latte at Starbucks. The bread, I'm also, as you can tell, I have my trusty bread machine, and we are going to make it that way because I'm always looking for ways to still make homemade food that is wonderful, delicious, healthy, but is easy and more effective to make. I will also let you know how that turns out. I wanted to point out my new apron, which is from a store called HomeSense. I mentioned them in another video. It's actually, I believe, related to Home Goods. Regardless, HomeSense is owned by the same company that owns Marshalls. So if you have a Marshalls, you can probably find a lot of the aprons that I wear, because I always get the aprons from HomeSense. So without further ado, I am rambling and rambling. Let's get into making the bread first. All of the recipes that I make, I'm going to link down below. I actually got them off of Pinterest. You can also follow me on Pinterest. I have a few followers there as well, because I haven't really advertised my Pinterest account. But I post a lot of the photos that I use and my videos over there. So if you are interested in pinning anything that I use, you can go over there and follow me on Pinterest. So instead of going through every single thing in the recipe, I'm just going to make it, and then you can find the recipe down below. I've already mentioned how I like to buy organic ingredients as much as possible, so that doesn't exclude organic eggs. vegetable oil. I'm just using olive oil. I think it'll taste fine. Somebody in my life was so perplexed by the fact that I use olive oil in my bread, but really you can taste the difference. Your favorite fall bread recipes, or I guess baking recipes. I would love to know. So I'm going to have to show you a picture of it at the end. I'm going to insert the video of what I did at the end. So I'm going to take the same pumpkin puree that I actually use for my bread, and I'm just going to put the remainder of it into making the pumpkin spice latte mix. So it's the pumpkin puree, and then it says condensed milk, pumpkin pie spice. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I actually got that the other day, a new batch of that. A cup of milk, and then some coffee. And I'm not going to add the whipped cream on top, but you would add the whipped cream on top if you would like. I also saw other recipes that called for maple syrup or brown sugar. So if I find that mine isn't sweet enough, I'm actually going to add brown sugar to it, which I think I will have to add brown sugar to it just because this pumpkin puree is not very sweet. What I'm actually thinking of doing is that this mix is going to make a few cups of coffee, so if it is not too gross, I'm going to see if it can be refrigerated, and then I can warm it up before I want to make another pumpkin spice latte to actually see if I can extend the mixture without the coffee in it, of course. So I would do a shot of coffee, and then I would add that mixture and I would warm it all up. So I'm going to see if that actually works out, and maybe I will let you know in another video. Mixture is warming up. I'm actually going to prepare this lovely bouquet of flowers and put it into this vase. It's a little tall, but I think it still works out quite nicely. I thought I would have to cut them. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to clean off the kitchen table because I have something that I want to add on the kitchen table, and I'm going to show you. Going to decorate the dining room table. By decorate, I mean I have a few pumpkins that you probably saw in one of the previous videos, and I'm going to add the flowers onto the table as well as this that I got from HomeSense. As you can tell, my house is the gray theme, so I got a table runner that has some pretty leaf patterns, and it's for fall. I don't know if I mentioned this, but HomeSense is run by the same company as Marshalls, so if you have a Marshalls, then you can probably get some of the same stuff. So, ta-da! What do you think? Ta-da! And I, of course, cannot forget putting up the wreath. So I'm going to show you my beautiful wreath that I'm going to hang now. It's from last year, so I can't exactly tell you where I got it. Wow, ta-da! So my pumpkin spice mixture is done, and I'm going to take this lovely tumbler from the Dollar Tree and pour myself a cup of coffee and then put that mixture on top, and I will catch you in a few minutes. Now you can't see it that well, but look at this delicious pumpkin spice mixture. It's actually quite thick. We will see how it tastes. So it actually tastes decent. And now I'm starting to look at my flowers, and I definitely think that I do need to cut them so that they are lower in the vase. But I will do that after this video. I'm just going to sip my coffee and sit here with you. I would think that the recipe would taste better if you actually put the coffee in with the mixture like it says, but I wanted to preserve the mixture and try to reheat it, so I'm going to see if that's actually going to work out, and I'm not sure if that's going to work out. But long story short, it tastes decent enough. I think I actually would add the maple syrup to the recipe like it's suggested in other recipes just to make it sweeter, but I challenge you to try to make it yourself and see if you like it. Before I end the video, I wanted to just sit down and talk with you because there seems to be a lot of buzzing on the topic of femininity, as well as what is important, why femininity is important. And I wanted to reiterate the purpose of my channel again, because I want to give you a little bit of background on myself. So throughout my life, I was always kind of shamed for my femininity, shamed for expressing myself, my emotions, shamed for really being kind of too soft and needing to really toughen up. So this caused me to adopt more characteristics that were less feminine. And this brought me a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and really brought me down a path where I was living my life for somebody else. So a few years ago, when I decided to essentially dismiss all the people and the ways that they were telling me to live my life, I really stepped into being a new kind of woman. I decided that I would embrace my femininity fully, regardless of if people thought I was unintelligent for it, just seeming like a dumb blonde. I decided regardless, I'm going to live in alignment with who I am and express my femininity. When I started to do that, I found that the job that I was actually working in at the time, which I switched to being a more feminine career path, really allowed me to flourish and to blossom in ways where I was performing at a top level that I had never even imagined. And when I transitioned out of that and I decided to focus on my home in terms of my anxiety as well as my relationship, I also rediscovered homemaking and the purpose of homemaking. Before, I used to be a person who kind of wrote off homemaking. I used to be a person who thought that homemaking was a little bit beneath me and it was kind of like the job of a maid. But I found that to not be true whatsoever. But I ended up finding extreme fulfillment on a deep level where I really understood my purpose in this life, and that was to live out my femininity, to pour into my homemaking, and to really strive to better the life of other people through the relationships that I am able to create as a result of embracing my femininity. And I know I keep saying that word again. Somebody commented on one of my videos saying that I should say femininity multiple times, and I don't know what they were implying by that, but I think that they meant that I was saying it a lot. This was really a long ramble, but I just wanted to restate the purpose of this channel. Although we do a bunch of fun things, I really want to reach you on a deeper level, and I want to encourage especially younger women to not be afraid to go against what society says and to listen to your heart in terms of what you want in your relationships and your life and the betterment and the future of your family that you're going to be building in a few years. And for those women who are older, I also wanted to make this community so that you don't feel alone. I listened to another homemaker talk about how homemaking is one of the only tasks, even if you have a job outside of the home really, the only tasks where you don't have a community to bond with. You don't have any type of support for homemakers. So really finding people on the internet, like I said, whether or not you have a job and you prioritize homemaking as an important part of your life, you still want to find some community and you still want to find other women who value it to the level that you value it. So I'm going to end the video now, and I hope you enjoyed the ramble. Please don't forget to like this video, and I will show you a clip of the bread, but it's going to take a few hours to make. So I will see you in a few days for our next video. I love you all. Bye-bye.